Hello friends, it is time for science and I am enjoying this weather study that we are doing. I am enjoying having little experiments to do and I am enjoying making the lap book. I don't know why, but I like making books. So let's go out and see what the weather's like today. I'm going to open my back door and I'm going to pick up this computer and this microphone rather. I'm going to carry you outside with me. See what I drag off the table with this very long cord that this microphone has. Ooh, it is beautiful. Oh my gosh. It is beautiful and it feels cool. So I am going to see what my little weather packet says. I'm going to pick the one that says cool, and it is sunny. I love the sunshine. We have had so much rain lately. I'm thankful for the rain. I don't want Texas to get in a big drought, but I love the sunshine. It cheers me up. So on my little slip, it's not freezing. It is not mild, warm. I think I'm going to pick mild because mild seems to be most what represents what it is. In fact, it feels a little cool. You know what? I might pick cool. Alright, so I picked cool. Now inside my weather pocket, I have a little definition that we did. Ta-da! Nope, not that one. I haven't done that one yet. It was there for safekeeping. Hurricane. What is a hurricane? Do you remember? It is a storm over the United States. It is a storm over South America. It is a storm over the ocean. Very good. Now let's look at the back. What is weather? Weather is what happens every day. You can only check it about how far out? About a week or it'll start. You won't get it right. So weather is telling you the temperature and the conditions of the sky for a day. Climate, what does it do? Tells you what a region is like year after year after year after year because they've recorded it over and over and over. Texas, hot, dry summers, cold, mild winters. Same thing every year. So that is the climate of Texas. Now today, we are going to look at our last storm. I'm going to fold it like this so I can hold it. And we have done thunderstorms. What is a thunderstorm? Can you tell me? Heavy rain, lightning, thunder. We just did hurricane. And what did we say a blizzard was? I have a heavy snowstorm, winds at 35 miles an hour, and then I wrote in there 2 inches of snowfall per hour. So today, what is our last storm? This is one we are very familiar with, tornado. So let me get my storm book. Ta-da-da! Superstorms. I think it has the most in here about tornadoes. All right, would you look at this picture? I'm not sure why the sky is so red, but that is the way it was when they took the picture. What is that dark shadow? That black, you see how it's wide at the top and it gets down skinny at the bottom and it goes all the way to the ground. Ugh, I can't figure out how, there we go. That is a tornado. Do you know what's in that tornado? Inside of that tornado, those are very, very fast winds. Now we talked about a hurricane is the deadliest storm, and that's because it is so big. But it only has winds up to 200 miles an hour, and a tornado has winds that can be up to 300 miles an hour. And thank God they are very fast. They do not last long. But thunderstorms can bring tornadoes. If you have a thunderstorm area, a lot of times they'll say tornado watch on the Weather Channel and on the news. That means they are watching the skies for tornadoes to start developing. Because hot air and cold air, when they meet, there's an argument going on, and they don't like each other. So one rises and one falls, but they've got to get it sorted, and so sometimes a tornado forms. All right, let's see if we can read about it. Thunderstorms sometimes give birth to tornadoes. Inside a storm, a funnel-shaped cloud reaches downward, so it starts spinning up in the air and it stretches down to the earth. Winds inside a tornado can spin faster than 300 miles per hour. These winds can lift cars off of the ground and they can rip houses apart. So they are very, very powerful. Oh, look at this. That is the work of a tornado. More than 1,000 tornadoes strike the United States each year, most of them during the spring and summer, because that's when the air is heating up and that's when cold air is still coming down from the north, and when they meet, it's an argument. In April of 1974, nearly 130 tornadoes struck 13 states east of the Mississippi River. More than 300 people were killed. That's not a whole lot, but it is a lot for storms. More than 5,000 were injured. Nearly 10,000 homes were destroyed. Let's see what the next page, if it's about tornadoes. Television and radio stations often give early alerts. A tornado watch means that one may strike during the next few hours. They haven't spotted it yet. The conditions are just good that one will form. A warning, if you hear the TV say a tornado warning, or if you hear the radio, it has been seen by people on radar. Radar is what is looking at the skies, and it's looking at the formation of clouds and wind, and they have spotted one in the atmosphere. It may not have dropped down yet, but they have spotted it. During a tornado warning, you should find shelter in a basement or a closet. Okay, so the safest place in your house, which I'm sure your parents know, is not next to a window, because what can happen during a wind? It could shoot a tree through your window, or a brick, or a toothpick. The wind is very strange when it is very powerful like that. It can send little splinters. But the glass would actually hurt, if it was blowing into your face. So if you have a stairway closet, that is very safe because it's got a lot of wood built all around it holding up the staircase. A bathroom is usually very safe. Would you want to go in a room with, in the shed with a lot of saws and hammers and screwdrivers? No, that would not be safe if all that's flying around hitting you. So you want to get in a room that doesn't have a lot of stuff and it is a lot of structure built into the walls. And a bathroom, if you can see when a house is being built, it's got a lot of 2x4s around it. So those are really good. Closets are usually good. It's pretty safe in a closet. A lot of people will say take a pillow or a blanket, and that way if a tornado does strike, you can cover yourself up with the blanket, and that way things flying around won't hit you and scratch you and cut you. So that is a very good idea. I remember we used to live in Mississippi, and tornadoes were even worse there than they are here in Texas. And one night, I was always scared of tornadoes, and my daughter Rose was very scared, but my husband was not as scared. He was a little more realistic. But one night in Tupelo, Mississippi, they said the tornadoes were bad, and that and usually they would just go on all night long. You would have a watch all night, and they would just be hitting. And so I remember this night we got in the hall, we got blankets, and I'm like, finally, he's scared too. He's listening. My husband is listening. So, but nothing happened, and normally nothing does. And God takes care of us and watches over us. But I remember one time we were in Tupelo, Mississippi, and I was taking one of my daughters to the doctor. And so we were going down the road, and we got to the doctor's, and my other daughter at school called me, and she's like, Mama, I am very scared. They have us in the locker room, and there's a tornado. And I'm like, fine, I'm coming to get you. I turned that car around, and I started going down the road. And it was the strangest thing. Everybody on the road stopped, and I'm like, what is going on? People just go. And I was too scared to look up into the sky, but my daughter looked into the sky. She's like, Mama, there's winds up there swirling. It's a tornado over our heads. And I'm like, oh, dear Jesus, help us, help us, help us. So all these cars are just turning around and going the other way. And so I didn't know where to go. And I was on the road, and I knew we needed to take shelter. And so we drove to the mall, because the mall was really close to us. and we drove right up to the JCPenney door, and we went in, and there was nobody in the store, and it was just like nobody was there. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is not safe, because there's glass shelves of displays, and I'm like, this stuff is just going to be blowing around, hitting us. And I remember when we got out of the car, the wind was so strong that I was afraid my daughter was going to blow away. And so I had to hold on to her. And it was hard to get the door open, and the car door. And so we made it to the JCPenney door. We got in there, and for some reason we just kept walking. We just kept walking forward. And this woman stuck her head out, and she was in this, I guess they had a closet. It was just a room. And I think it's where they kept stock. And she's like, come on in, come on in. And the guy said, there was a guy, he's like, how did you find us? How did you know which door to come to? And I'm like, it was a God thing. I don't know. I didn't tell him, but I knew it was a God thing, because he said that is the only door that we did not lock. And so God kept us safe in the storm, and he provided shelter for us. And I am so very thankful. And it was just a really terrifying time. And we got out and we went home, and they would not let me pick my daughter up at school anyway, because they said it is not safe to leave and be out in the weather. So we were all safe, and it was very frightening, but it was kind of exciting. So this map shows a storm. This map shows that there is a danger area in the orange zone, and it shows that there is red. That is the most dangerous. So when you're looking at a weather channel and you're watching the radar screen, usually a storm will have a long line. That's the front. And that is where the cold air is moving in. And so it comes across the map, and then it'll make a red line sometimes when it gets to be a thunderstorm. And then when there's a tornado, it'll have a red area. And sometimes they'll put little markers on there to show that it's a tornado. So you just need to listen to the weather, and you need to follow the directions and just pray for God to keep you safe. And I'm sure you'll be safe. All right, so let's see if we can fill out. Let me make sure that was all that book had. All right, yes, then it went into hurricanes. We've already done hurricanes. So let's see if we can look at tornado. And let's see what we can write. We are going to put powerful storm. I need a piece of paper to write on. This is one that I was using earlier, so I'm just going to write on here. Powerful, that's pow, ow, and ow. P-ow, inverse, full, F-U-L, F-U-L. Powerful, or in morning. Powerful storm. So see if you can write powerful storm. You can pause that video. I'm going to write it on my little purple tornado sheet. Powerful storm. Okay. And when you get that written, then we're going to write winds over 300 mph, miles per hour. And I'll write that down on this sheet. Winds over, or inverse, 300 miles per hour. You don't have to write it all straight like that. You can just fill up the box. Okay. Winds over 300 miles per hour. And I'm going to put very, it's V-E-R-Y, damaging. Damaging. It's a soft G. Very damaging. Okay, they are very damaging. And thankfully, they do not last long at all. They'll just run through a section, and then they're up and they're gone. And we are very thankful because they are very powerful. All right, we're going to do one more thing. We have our vocabulary, and we're going to cut out tornado. And of course, I forgot my scissors, so I'm going to run and get my scissors. My scissors have a way of moving around from drawer to drawer, so I never know where they are because it depends on who puts them up. And I'm going to cut out, so I'm going to have to cut off weather because weather is under it. And I'm going to cut off tornado. I love making this little book. All right. Tornado. Tornado. And weather is just extra. I'm going to save him. I'm going to put him inside my little box just so when I am ready to fill him out. Oops, I got to trim him off a little bit. He won't fit. I don't want to lose him. That's why I'm just going to save him in there. And then when we get ready, we'll do it. All right. Get in that little box. So I got weather down in there. Now I'm going to write down the definition for tornado. And I'm just going to put, let's see, what does this thing say? I have a sheet that tells me. I just want to see what they say. It's a list of vocabulary words. Do they have tornado? Violent spinning column of air that reaches down to the ground. Oh, that's a lot to write. Let's just say, let's say funnel cloud. That is F-U-N-N-E-L, funnel cloud. Ow and out, cloud, funnel cloud. Okay, because that's the kind of storm it is. It's a funnel cloud. Okay, so I'm going to tuck him in. I'm just going to have all kind of little weather definitions in there. Nice. All right, so we have gone all the way through storms, and I believe tomorrow we will start looking at clouds. And that is a very interesting study too, so I'm very excited to do that study with you. So be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow.